Hey, what is happening, guys? Thank you for tuning in here. Figured we'd chat about crypto a little bit today. Let me get kind of queued in here, see if we're actually live. Okay, so looks like we are live. I'll kind of wait while some people filter in here. Got one thumbs down already. But yeah, you just figured I'd hop on, talk about crypto a little bit. Obviously, the past 30 days, let alone the past week, the past couple days, has been really dope. I'm so sad. I'm with you, Super T. Yeah, really depressing day for crypto. Things have been on a downturn for a while. One of the few saving graces was that Ethereum had held up kind of nice back when I think Bitcoin was down. What was Bitcoin down? Bitcoin was kind of on like a 25-day downturn a couple days ago, and Ethereum was actually on like a 14 or 15-day upswing. And even Ethereum couldn't hold it together. Let's take a look at GDAX right now. Ethereum trading at 665 right now. So my battleship is sunk. I'm with you, Super T. Really didn't have anything planned today. I got about 15 minutes to kill before my Costco pot roast comes out of the oven. So figured I'd hop on here, kind of see what you guys were thinking, see what your guys' opinions on the markets are right now. I really don't have a format of anything exactly. Ethereum 666 right now. That must be a bad omen. My Tron is diving. Super T, when did you get into Tron? I actually, I think, who was it? It was AVLSD, the YouTuber and Steemit guy. He kind of turned me on to Tron a couple weeks before Christmas. I got in at like 2 or 3 cents, wrote it up to about a quarter, was very optimistic. There was a lot of press. There was a lot of hype going on with Tron. And so I bought in, wrote it up to about a quarter. And on the way back down, I think I sold mine at 16 or 17 cents. So I've been completely out of it. One thing I've been kind of telling friends and things like that is just because you see a coin down 80% doesn't mean it's a good buy right now. It doesn't mean it's good to jump on it. Against my kind of better judgment, I think I saw Tron at like 2 cents the other day, or I don't know, maybe today, yesterday, and decided to throw $50 at it. You know, some of these things that are down are never going to recover. A couple of them I'm kind of treating like lottery tickets. But yeah, for the most part right now, I'm kind of trying to consolidate my positions down into kind of a handful of good quality long-term projects. I think something we saw going on at the beginning of the year was like all these new coins came out and everybody was onto the shiny new thing, whether it be, and not to talk bad about any of them, but Cardano. I guess Ripple wasn't new, but everyone was on Ripple, Cardano, Verge, Tron. And I actually thought it was kind of disappointing seeing everybody kind of jump ship from a lot of these kind of established quality projects like Lisk and Arc, and actually Steam's done pretty well, but like NavCoin was, I think it was in like the between 50 and 60 market cap positions, and that's down at like 150 or something right now. So really kind of depressing to see all that. Let's see, going down, got 100 in both. I bought into Ripple at $1. You know, at least you didn't buy into Ripple at like $3 or $4. Ripple, I've never been a big fan of Ripple, and I even resisted the urge to kind of hop on the Ripple hype train. I'm a much bigger fan myself of Stellar Lumens. But you know, Ripple's one of those. I don't know that Ripple's ever going to see $3 or $4 again. I mean, if you're in at that point, I would almost, if it were me, I would probably just cut my losses and try to hop onto something else that has a better chance of regaining some of that money. But that's just me. I've never personally been a big fan of Ripple. My dumbass got cocky and dropped $100 into 84-cent Cardano. What's Cardano trading at right now? Let's take a look. Cardano is at 29 cents right now. You know, Cardano actually has a chance of coming back at least. I mean, Cardano, if I'm not mistaken, it's not one I follow super closely, but their project still isn't live. So, I mean, for the coin to be a top 5 and for it to be at the price it's at right now, you know, I think that one definitely has a chance to come back. I'd much rather be sitting on Cardano right now than Ripple. Although, really, I mean, no matter where you're at, everything is bleeding today. Every market is down. Yeah, there's, like CryptoBit said, every market is down. Really, no matter what you're in, there's really kind of no saving graces today. I'm just kind of taking a look at the charts right now. Everything's a lot uglier if you look at it in terms of USD. I mean, if we look at just as an example, like if I'm looking in USD, Bitcoin Cash is down 20%, Ripple's down 15%, Litecoin's down 15%. If we toggle it over to BTC, everything's not quite as ugly, right? Because when Bitcoin goes down, it drags everything else down with it. So, I mean, that Bitcoin Cash that looked like it was down 20% in terms of dollars, it's down 4.55% in terms of Bitcoin. Cardano down 4%. So things are not nearly as ugly. If you look at things in terms of BTC instead of dollars, I think NEO is a huge buy right now. NEO down another 10%. Maybe NEO was a little bit overbought, a little bit overinflated. But shoot, NEO's at $80 right now. I think NEO's a buy. EOS is down pretty good today. EOS at $6.99. Let's see, what are some of my other coins? Monero's down to 180. Tether's still pegged at $1. Tether's the only thing that's in the green here. Tron, down to 2.9 cents. Lisk at 14. I remember back in October, I was calling Lisk at like $4.50 to $5, telling everyone to jump on that train. But really, I mean, let's be honest. You could have thrown darts at a wall and everything was going up. VeChain down pretty good today, 22%, even in relation to BTC. Qtum down 20%. I mean, across the board, everything's pretty ugly. Oh, you know what? My computer's dying. Let me grab my charger real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this SEC meeting that's going down tomorrow. I think there were 2 meetings going down. I heard one got pushed back to, I don't know, like February 15th or something like that. But I believe the SEC's meeting is going on tomorrow. I haven't really heard too much about it. I did see a couple positive statements. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to fully read through everything, but I thought someone at the SEC made a comment that like the genie's out of the bottle, basically essentially saying we can't ban cryptocurrencies. I mean, it's already out there. I think they realize they can't completely ban them. But let's see, Wabi. Let's see what's everyone talking about here. This market is toast, just like the Patriots. Every market's down. Ripple formed a nipple. Main stock. Yeah, stock market's down big today. I was actually, I know that's, I don't know how many of you guys also invest in stocks. We had a little bit of a recovery today. I was thinking about pulling some money off the table in terms of the stock market. My retirement account, I'm not going to touch because I mean, the horizon for that is super long. I think I'm better off just letting it ride. But as far as like my cash accounts that I, buy Vanguard funds with and things like that, I'm thinking about pulling out of the market right now, kind of seeing how things shake out. And that kind of brings up another interesting point is I think a lot of people kind of expect when the stock market goes down that people are going to run over to crypto. And quite honestly, I think the exact opposite thing is going to happen. I think people are just really going to kind of hoard and sit on their money and try to preserve it the best they can, I guess. Let's see. Every coin is a big buy. Fernando, I wouldn't say every coin's a big buy. Something I'm hearing a lot of people say, and I really agree with, is I think we're seeing kind of a shakeout right now. It's kind of interesting how over the past couple months, a lot of coins that were, I wish I could pull up some kind of chart of like what the top 20 and the top 50 is looking like right now, as opposed to what it looked like back in maybe October. And it's really amazing the shakeup we've seen. Like the top 10, the top 20 looks almost nothing like it did back in October. So, a lot of these coins are going to look tempting to buy. A lot of these things that are down 60, 70, 80, 90%. I think we're going to see kind of a shakeout happening here. Whereas a lot of these coins are just going to go by the wayside and never come back. And it's the solid projects that are going to recover. If I just kind of sort through here, I mean, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, I'm always interested in. I dabble in Cardano. It's not one I follow that much. Stellar Lumens, I'm still pretty optimistic about Stellar Lumens. I really like NEO and EOS for the long term. I was always a long time NEM holder, although that one has kind of lost some interest for me. I don't really mess with Dash, sold off all my Monero. I don't think Tron's coming back, and if it does, it's probably going to be years. Lisk is another coin I'm trying to slowly kind of accumulate here in 2018. I know they have the rebranding coming. They also have that SDK, the developer kit coming out. Ethereum Classic's kind of a deal right now, although that's not really one I mess with. A lot of people are really optimistic about VeChain. I don't really mess with that one too much. Rayblocks has been getting slaughtered, down another, I don't know, 30% in dollars, but probably 16 or 20% against Bitcoin. Steem, Steem is actually one of the, what's happening, Jonathan? Steem is actually one of the coins that I would like to see dive, only because I'll accumulate the hell out of it, regardless of what happens to the cryptocurrency markets. I'm active on Steemit. The more Steem you have, the more money you can earn. I remember back when I bought myself up to 500 Steem to get that sliding vote bar. And, back when I did it, it cost like $500 to do. Now, I mean, even at these lows, you're looking at $1,500 to buy yourself to 500 and get that sliding bar. Steem has a strong community. There's a lot of platforms built around it. We have Steemit, we have Steepshot, we have DTube, DLive, DSound. I mean, there's a strong community. There's a strong platform. And I think, if you're going to be active on the platform, I think you can't go wrong putting your money into Steemit. Binance Coin down to $6. Status, Verge, Augur. Let's see what NavCoin's doing. I got absolutely slaughtered on NavCoin. I want to dump some of my position, but at these lows, it's not even worth it. NavCoin down another 28% today. Every coin is a big buy. Substratum. Fernando, my buddy's big on Substratum. I swing traded it a little bit. Quite honestly, I couldn't even tell you what Substratum's about. But let's see what Sub's doing today. Oh, well, yeah, Substratum right there with some of the other, down 28%. Wabi at $1.33. It's really kind of amazing to me. So Binance has added a lot of new coins recently. Binance added Steem. I think Wabi is relatively new to Binance. They just brought Rayblox on after the rebranding, after it won the Community of the Month contest. And it's interesting that it didn't see a bump. I know NavCoin hasn't been on Binance that long either, and that one didn't really get a pump when it went on. Wabi banning shit is un-American. As far as a ban, I don't think any bans are going to happen. And quite honestly, all of the quote-unquote bans that we've heard about haven't really truly been bans. We heard about the China ban. They didn't actually ban cryptocurrencies so much as ban exchanges. I have heard they're doing more of a crackdown in terms of, what do they call it with China? I don't know if they call it the Iron Curtain or whatever I know that's Russia, but whatever that thing is where China kind of blocks access to Facebook and a lot of sites. I'm hearing that's happening more in regards to crypto exchanges and things like that. So not great, but most of these bans we've heard are either kind of fake news or falsely reported. So if I'm not mistaken, India's finance manager came back out and had kind of corrected his statements or clarified his statements. And if I'm not mistaken, I think India isn't banning cryptocurrency. They just said that they're going to start cracking down on illegal activity. But most of these ban issues, well, they're not good. It's been kind of non-news. Most of them haven't been bans. There was even a ban about the U.S. banning crypto a while back, and obviously that turned out not to be true. A lot of these statements we've been seeing about the SEC have turned out to be relatively positive, or as positive as one can expect. I think, like I said, they've talked about they can't put the genie back in the bottle. They've talked about embracing technology. They've talked about how cryptocurrencies are spurring technological growth. So, I mean, for all those reasons, it could be worse, I guess, is my point. And I think regardless of whatever the SEC and the CFTC say, I think anything is better than uncertainty, right? Like, if you guys remember back when, quote unquote, China banned cryptocurrency, the markets tanked. I remember I just bought my dad some Bitcoin at, I don't know, $4,500 or something like that. It had risen up to about $5,000, and then the markets tanked after Charlie Lee's rumors, and as that kind of continued to play out. And after, I think it only lasted a couple days, and we heard they're not banning cryptocurrency outright. They're just banning exchanges, and the market recovered pretty quickly. So I think both in retail investors like you and I, as well as institutional investors, especially institutional investors and people with big money, they don't want to invest in a market with uncertainty, right? Like that's why when we're coming up on presidential elections, stocks are kind of flat or sometimes even negative because we don't know what's going to happen. So I think even bad news is better than no news at all. Thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat. Dow index is down 10% in the past 6 days. Let's talk about the indexes crashing. In terms of stocks, I used to invest in individual stocks. I've kind of changed my strategy to index funds, and more recently, I've kind of consolidated into these Vanguard Life Strategy funds. Life Strategy funds are very similar to, I forget what their other thing. Vanguard has two different basically types of, we'll call them robo investors for lack of a better word. But the life strategy funds, they keep a consistent investment across the board. Whereas whatever the other one, it's actually, that's going to drive me crazy. Let's see. Life strategy versus, okay, target retirement. So Vanguard's target retirement date funds, those get more conservative or more into bonds as you near retirement. And the life strategy funds just kind of keep a consistent investment. So I've kind of gotten away from picking individual stocks and kind of gotten more into index funds and life strategy stuff. Over the years, I've messed with, Wealthfront and Betterment a bit. But I mean, essentially, they're just buying you Vanguard funds and charging you a fee for it. So I've kind of gotten away from that. Sandhawk, combined land. Jimmy B saying the market's going to drop another 50%. You can take it to the bank and sell. I don't know about that. You know, anything could happen. I mean, to be quite honest with you guys, I've never been more uncertain about the markets than I am right now. In the past, I had kind of a sense for when the markets were going up, going down. I was pretty good at picking coins. And right now, I'm not even going to pretend like I know what's happening. But I personally don't think we're going to see it go down another 50%. I would say if I had to call a bottom for, kind of most of the core coins, or at least we'll call them GDAX coins, I'll say Bitcoin, absolute bottom out at 5,500. Bitcoin Cash, I'd say 400. Ethereum, I would say 450. And Litecoin, I'd say maybe 80 something. But, just a total shot in the dark. Obviously, none of us really know. Headlines are spreading FUD. They said the Bank of America is banning crypto, but they're only banning credit card purchases. It makes sense. Yes, I've made a couple of videos about this whole credit card purchase thing, and Fernando brings up an interesting point. So a lot of FUD being spread, and I've heard a lot of people say things along the lines of like 40% of all money buying into the crypto space was buying on credit cards. I don't think there's any way to definitively know that. Obviously, the whole credit card thing is going to hurt the space. Whether it's responsible to do or not, whether you should be doing it or not, the reality of it is a lot of people are putting money on credit cards. I mean, we all know how, what do they say? The average American has less than $1,000 in savings. Most people couldn't sustain an unexpected $500 expense, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people don't have cash. A lot of people get FOMO about the cryptocurrency markets. I don't doubt there was a lot of credit card money rushing in. And when you start blocking credit cards, people who don't have cash and have to buy on credit, they don't really have any option but to use their credit cards. And that does bring in a lot of extra money into the market. And obviously, the more volume we have in the market, the more money we have in the market, it's going to tend to make the prices rise. So I do think that's hurting markets. I think a lot of these credit card companies are kind of stupid with how they've handled the whole situation. I mean, at the end of the day, all they have to say is, we're seeing a lot of credit card theft and fraud. We're having a lot of chargebacks. End of story. We cut it off. But instead, they come out with, I actually called up Capital One, because Capital One, I think, was one of the first companies to do this. And I called up Capital One. I knew what the reason was, but I'm like, I just tried to make a purchase on Coinbase and my card got blocked. I normally don't buy with credit, but I did it just for the sake of seeing if the ban was really true. And the guy put me on hold for a second. He comes back reading some script, and he's like, well, because this is very volatile, we've decided not to. And then I think it was Discover CEO came out and basically said the only people using cryptocurrency are people trying to get money out of China and commit fraud. I know, something crazy. I made a video about it the other day. You guys can check it out if you want. But yeah, I mean, just them delving into the, a lot of people are interested in crypto. When you say crypto is stupid, it's a scam, whatever, in a sense, you're kind of insulting people in crypto. And I just think it was a bad PR move. I think there's a lot of other ways they could have gone about stopping credit card purchases. I know a lot of people were doing the churning thing, taking advantage of credit card points. I definitely get that they don't want people. Actually, I take that back. You can take out a cash advance at a casino, but you can't buy Bitcoin with your credit card. So I do think it's kind of disingenuous for them to say that they're protecting you, because there's a lot of stupid things that you're allowed to use credit card purchases on. Headlines are spreading FUD, but yeah, I definitely think the credit card thing's affecting markets. Let's see, Black Crypto. Hey, Johnny. What's happening, Jonathan? Every year during January, February, the market tanks. Check 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Fernando, I agree with you. And that's something I've been kind of saying to make myself feel better, is like every year the markets dip in January. I was kind of excited when we rolled into February that I was kind of excited things might turn around. but I mean, it's day after day after day, and it almost seems to be a campaign by the media. And I don't know if we want to get real tinfoil hatish, the media, Wall Street, bankers, whatever else, but it's like just the timing of how this news and stuff is coming out. It's almost like instead of dumping all the bad news on us at once, they want to dump some bad news, let the market tank, let it start to recover, and then hit us with some more bad news. So to some extent, I do think this is kind of the normal January downturn, but it is a little bit more. I've never seen such a pessimistic and negative sentiment. I've never really seen the market stay down for this long. And then just everything from regulation to Tether to BitConnect, it's all different areas are coming at us from all sides. And one kind of funny thing, or it's kind of funny and it's also kind of upsetting or annoying, is we all know that there's a lot of anti-crypto people out there. Look at any mainstream article that makes it to like Yahoo Finance or whatever else about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, and people who are against crypto are like, all the old stuff about Beanie Babies and what do we got? Beanie Babies and tulips and this stuff is fake and I have a bridge to sell you and kind of all the other kind of shit talking that goes on. And every bad piece of news, every additional drop in the market, I don't agree with those people, but it basically just gives them ammunition, and those guys are getting cocky. And in terms of cockiness, I saw somebody else comment on this, but I definitely think this is kind of a wake-up call or a reality shock to a lot of us. I've talked about this a lot back after the 2008 stock market crash. That's kind of when I got real heavy into investing in the stock market, and I was making a ton of money. I think I put $900 and I ran it up to about 10 grand. That's how I bought my first townhouse. And I kind of got cocky. I was like, oh man, I'm a pretty good trader. And after the markets calmed down and things kind of leveled out, I quickly realized that like back then you could have thrown darts at the wall and made money on anything. And I see the same thing kind of happening here in the crypto space, in the sense that, back during December, everything was going through the roof. No matter what you looked at, like every coin in my portfolio, up 15% today, up 30% tomorrow, up 20%. And I think all of us to some extent knew that it wasn't sustainable, but it's easy to kind of get greedy and think that things are going to go higher and higher and higher forever. And one just kind of weird, like psychological thing with investing. For some reason, it's a lot easier to buy when the market's at an all-time high at 19,000 and everyone's rah-rah Bitcoin. It's a lot easier to buy up there than it is to buy right now when we're sitting at, what are we sitting at? It's a lot easier to buy there than it is when like everything is doom and gloom. But like the old phrase, when there's blood in the streets, buy. When other people are greedy, be fearful. When other people are fearful, be greedy, etc. So conventional wisdom would tell you right now should be the time that you're loading up. But I realize a lot of people are tapped out. A lot of people, myself included, feel that we're already too heavily invested into the crypto space. I'm really kicking myself for kind of not practicing what I preach. I think there's a lot of blind optimism in the crypto space. I think a lot of people want to buy into this. Things can do nothing but go up. Crypto is going to change the world. And while that all may be true, I personally would be feeling a lot better if I sold off at 15K, 16K, 17K, 18K, 19K, and had some money on the sidelines to buy back in. But way too much of my net worth is in crypto right now. So when a dip like this comes, it's hard to say, let me throw more in there. Whereas had I taken some more, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've taken out my initial investment. I've taken out some profits, but I've also let a lot of it ride. And it's hard to put more in, where if I had more money sitting on the sidelines, I'd be firing like crazy right now. I do think right now is a good time to buy. Let's see. Price of the media is controlling. You can control. Yeah, it is odd timing with BitConnect, but I mean, it's everything. It's all these kind of fake news bans. It's BitConnect. It's the Tether thing looming over everybody's head. A lot of people don't want to call this a crash. I see people on Reddit all day arguing, it's not a crash, it's a correction. And then somebody else is like, at what point do we consider this a crash? So, I mean, I think things have been on a downslope for a long enough time and have fallen dramatically enough that I think we can call this a crash. It's kind of funny. A few months ago, Bitcoin goes up 300% and then drops down 10%. People are like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin crashed. Like, no, that was a correction. I definitely think we're in a crash. The only question is when's the bottom? I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more crypto. I was going to spend my time earning crypto, whether it be through consulting, freelancing, affiliate programs. I couldn't help myself with some of these deals. I think in the past 2 or 3 days, I've bought the bottom 3 times. Maybe some of you guys can relate to that. Called a depression. Dollar cost averaging. Yeah, puzzle, man. I think you're onto it with the dollar cost averaging, because I've gone in probably a little bit heavier than I should have. But like, really, rather than throwing in $1,000 today, you should probably, if you want to put $1,000 into the market, you should probably set an automatic buy every day for the next 10 days for $100, and let your price over the next 10 days, kind of level itself out. But yeah, I mean, despite all this, every week I dollar cost average into Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And then maybe, I don't know, once, twice a month, I'll take some of that money and shuffle it over into Binance or Bittrex and spread some more money across some altcoins. Although something I'm doing right now is kind of trying to consolidate. Like, I no longer want to have 15 or 20 positions. As tempting as it is to get into like air swaps and a lot of these decentralized exchanges, at the end of the day, regardless of using Ether Delta or not Ether Delta, Delta or whatever portfolio tracking app that you have, I just can't keep up with all the different news going on with 20 coins. I like to be pretty familiar with the charts so that I can maybe swing trade or kind of anticipate what's going on. And when I'm spread across that much stuff, it's just kind of impossible to do. Yeah. Remember what Gordon Gecko said? Greed is good. Greed is good. Although sometimes greed can screw you. I got to get off here in a second, but I was just going to kind of browse through the cryptocurrency subreddit here. I'm kind of getting turned off by the crypto space on Reddit. There's just so many idiots talking on there. Like I said, it's just blind optimism and people wanting to turn every single piece of news into a positive thing. So it is a great place to get news, but at the same time, it's just the blind optimism is kind of scary. Somebody says a dip is over. Senate testimony posted early, and this is kind of what I was referring to earlier. Let's see here. Doggy coin. Tervina, what's the deal with Doggy coin? I've never really gotten that into Doggy coin. I do follow Jackson Palmer on YouTube, and the one thing I have a hard time wrapping my head around with is it Doggy coin or Dogecoin? Quite honestly, I don't even know. But even Jackson Palmer seems to like kind of admit that like Doggy coin, from what I've heard him say, he almost says Doggy coin was kind of an experiment. Like after Bitcoin came out, he was almost kind of like, I wonder if I just throw together some clone of Bitcoin and throw a dog's face on it, if it can actually take off. And I know he said he's been like shocked to see what the market cap has done. And if I'm not mistaken, Doggy coin or Dogecoin hasn't had any like major updates since 2014. But people are like, so I guess the one thing it's got going for it is a community. I shouldn't talk negative about it because I don't really know that much about it. But yeah, that's when it's always just kind of stumped me, because even Jackson Palmer, the creator, doesn't seem to be too, bullish on it. Yeah. I think a lot of us are fed up with buying the bottom over and over. You know what, Ren? I definitely think this is an opportunity for quality coins to come back after the crash. I would love to sell off a lot of my positions and get into some quality projects like Neo and some others. Although with everything being down so much, I hate to lock in my losses. So what I'm kind of doing right now is, if I have a coin that's down 20%, and I think there's a better quality project out there also down 20%, I will sell to get into that one, because I'd rather be in a project that has more upside later on down the road. But I mean, selling something that's down 60% to jump into something that's down 14%, like I'm just not willing to lock in that big of a loss. I've never really bought garbage coins that I feel will never come back. Though I do think we're seeing kind of a flush out of a lot of the altcoins. I think like 60 days from now, the top 10, top 20, top 50, and top 100 market cap coins is going to look completely different than it does today. Love your stuff. Thank you, Eraser Joe. Let's see, Vertcoin thoughts. You know what, Johnny? I used to be really bullish on Vertcoin, and to be honest with you, Litecoin is one of my favorite coins. And I personally don't see Vertcoin offering a lot more than Litecoin. Litecoin has definitely a lot more name recognition than Vertcoin. You know, there's that new LitePay thing coming out. There's all types of rumors about potential Litecoin partnerships here in the new year. One of two things is going to happen with Litecoin, because the whole Charlie Lee selling off his Litecoin, that was just way too weird. And he keeps talking about like he has his reasons for why he did that. So it's one of two things. Either Charlie Lee just farted on all our dinners and we're all Charlie Lee's bag holders. Either that's the case, right? And Litecoin just has no future, or there's going to be a huge announcement for Litecoin in 2018. Litecoin is one of my favorite coins. It's something that I've been sitting on for a long, long time and missed out on a lot of gains in other coins. Having my money tied up in Litecoin, which for a long time was very stagnant. So I'm still holding all my Litecoin. I haven't sold any off, and I'm hoping that Litecoin has some good stuff coming for it in 2018. I know there were rumors of an Amazon partnership, probably nonsense, but you know, a little sliver of hope I'm holding on to. There were rumors of Facebook potentially partnering with Litecoin. I use Litecoin to get in and out of exchanges to transfer around. It's slightly less attractive than Ethereum in the sense that there aren't any Litecoin trading pairs, which really kind of blows my mind. I'm not really sure why that is. But if I send Litecoin from my Trezor wallet over to Binance, well, there's no trading pair for Litecoin. So I'm having to trade into either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or BNB. But nonetheless, you know, Litecoin does have utility. It is being used, and I think it would make a lot of sense for commerce. Hopefully this LitePay thing, you know, kind of works out well and maybe gives Litecoin a little boost. The internet does love cute animal pictures. Look at CryptoKitty. I don't know if any of you guys have tried CryptoKitties. I probably shouldn't have even tried it. I heard all the hype about it. I jumped on there. But by the time I got on there, gas prices were already too high to really make it feasible. I think a lot of the hype with that is dying down. I bought 3 cats, and my cats can't even fuck each other because they're all brothers and sisters. So I can't even make baby cats. And even if I did, I think the interest in CryptoKitties is kind of down. But if anyone's messed with CryptoKitties and made any money, let me know. 2014. Yeah, I definitely agree, Eraser Joe. I mean, if we look back to when Bitcoin went up to 1,200 and crashed down, I mean, it took what, a year or two to kind of really recover, and then kind of ran from there. But I actually got into Bitcoin back in late 2012, early 2013. So I think the timing of when I got in that crash kind of scared me. And well, I dabbled with it. I was definitely a casual Bitcoiner, a casual person in the cryptocurrency space for the next couple of years, and then kind of started getting more heavily involved again back in 2015. Yeah, you know, Vertcoin, like the bottom totally came out from under Vertcoin. I forget if I looked at that one or not, but Vertcoin at 214. Personally, I wouldn't buy into Vertcoin. I've always liked it. I think it's a good coin, but I don't really think it offers anything super unique above what Litecoin does. And even Litecoin isn't getting a lot of love from the markets, despite being a pretty good project. So I feel like if Litecoin can't succeed, or if Litecoin isn't more successful, I just don't see Vertcoin making a comeback. Although they do have, Vertcoin's got a really strong community on Reddit. I know a lot of people really love the coin, but you know, I just don't see it doing anything crazy. I think Vertcoin kind of saw its heyday when it ran up to $10. My cats can't even fuck. You know what, WK? Yeah, you know, I wish I had a better idea of what's going to happen. I mean, we all know that this market can turn on a dime. So, I mean, shoot, for all I know, we could be back to, you know, some crazy positive news could come out, and we could be back to all-time highs, you know, 3 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now. But I have a feeling that we're probably, you know, I have no idea. But if I were to just throw out there my initial gut reaction, I think we're going to kind of trade sideways from like 6K to 10K for maybe the next, I don't know, 30 to 60 days, and hopefully start making a, you know, slow but steady recovery from there. But again, you know, your guys' guess is as good as mine. Litecoin will be 600 in the next few weeks. I'd love it if that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd love it if it did happen, but I'd be super happy if Litecoin found its way back up to about $300. So 600 would put me through the roof. But yeah, I think that's pretty optimistic. Johnny Chase, I started trading with 600 and I've run it up to 20K, more like 12K now, though. I'm young and taking risks just for experience. So yeah, I'm in a similar position as you, Johnny. You know, it makes me sick looking back at my old Coinbase trade histories and like seeing myself like selling Litecoin at like $6 and $7, selling Ethereum at like $9. You know, if I could have all that money back. One thing I'd like to point out about paper gains, I hear a lot of people talking about like paper gains and playing with house money. And a lot of people act like house money isn't real money. And I get it. Like, to people not in the crypto space, I hear people say things like, can you actually cash Bitcoin out and get dollars? And they're like shocked, you know, they think the whole thing is like some big sham. And they're like shocked to find out that you can actually get dollars. And I've actually had people online and even friends ask me like, have you personally ever been able to pull money out? Like they almost think it's like a BitConnect type thing where, yeah, you're making all this money on paper, but you can never access it. You know, as we all know, we've all pulled money out of crypto probably for the most part. So, I mean, I've pulled money out, although even though I've been in the space for a long time, even though I trust it, it is kind of like a mind fuck, almost kind of wrapping your head around. Like, I almost wonder, like, if I tried to withdraw like tens of thousands of dollars into my bank account through a bank wire, like, is my bank going to reject that wire? Because I see that happening a lot. A lot of people are having problems with Coinbase, quote unquote, losing their money or losing their wires. I'm sure all this stuff turns up at the end of the day. But I think that's one of the reasons that it is easy to act like house money isn't your money, because it's like, A, this came so quick, right? Everything happened so quickly. There's a whole easy come, easy go attitude. But I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I'm almost like, when the day comes that I do want to cash out, like, is Coinbase going to have my money? Is my bank going to take it in? So there is this, like, this is almost surreal type of, I don't know, type of feel to everything. So I think that's why it's so easy to, you know, treat house money like it's not your money. But I mean, really, whatever money is in your Coinbase account, whatever money is in your GDAX account, that is real money that you could send over to your bank account and buy a house or pay off your mortgage or buy a new car or pay off some credit card debt. So I definitely think it's important to keep in mind house money is your money. And as somebody who's lost a lot of money over the past couple weeks here, it's almost not even real to me. I think it was Saturday or Sunday of this week. It finally kind of hit me, like, how much money I've really lost. Like, I'm not going to throw out figures, but the amount of money I had on my Trezor 3 weeks ago and the amount of money I have on there now, it really does kind of make you sick to your stomach. And right now I'm looking at buying a couple rental, I don't know about a couple, but at least buying a rental property in a college town here near me. And when I look at, like, my Bitcoin alone, let alone Ethereum, Litecoin, altcoins, and things like that, like that, you know, granted, we're talking about $15,000, $20,000 properties. We're not talking about $100,000 properties, but I could have bought myself a couple properties with just my Bitcoin profits. And now, I mean, those have dwindled greatly. So yeah, very, very depressing. Started with 60 and wound up peaking at 700, 200. First live stream I caught, but been fine. Yeah, Johnny, you know, I do, I've been kind of random with my live streams. Live streams, I could probably count on one hand the number of live streams I've done. Definitely a little bit outside of my comfort zone, like managing the screen and chatting with people and keeping the conversation going. I kind of prefer making videos and posting them after the fact. But that's been kind of one of my New Year's resolutions, is I've been wanting to kind of step outside of my comfort zone, do more of these live streams, do more of these collaborations. So I may try to start hopping on here a few days a week, even if only for 10, 15 minutes, just chat with you guys, answer some questions and things like that. So really glad you could catch it. Anyone who's not subscribed and or not signed up for notifications, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button. And that way, when me or even anybody else on YouTube live streams, you know, I'm subscribed to like Superman and Crypto Bobby and a lot of other guys. So I mean, if somebody goes live, you get a notification, you know about it right away, and you can hop on there and chat with people and things like that. 11-year college townhouse during the end of the semester by textbooks on campus. I like your hustle eraser, Joe. You know, at the so I'm in Chicago. We got a couple schools around here. We have Northern Illinois. That's like pretty much the only one within like reasonable driving distance from Chicago. It's maybe a 45-minute, maybe an hour drive, depending on where you're at. Most of our other colleges are Western Illinois, 3-4 hours west, Southern Illinois, about 7 hours south. in Eastern Illinois, where I actually went to for a time, about 3.5 hours. It's about 30 minutes south of Champaign, Illinois, where U of I is. But yeah, a lot of these college towns are a little bit too far away from where I could actually live there. You know, WK, I actually joked about starting a Rebel coin, but yeah, I think there's way too many kind of garbage coins in the market right now. The last thing we needed is another one. I actually have a buddy who's rolling out his own cryptocurrency, and it's just he's asked me to help him out a few times, and I'll be honest, like I don't know the first thing about starting coins or rolling out an ICO, and I question whether my buddy's coin is just a money grab. But I mean, the kid has no clue about Ethereum contracts, no idea what he's doing. And he's not even real hip on social media. So he's asked me to like reach out to people for help. And I've posted on some like developer forums and some Reddit forums and things like that. And the reply I got is pretty much what I expected, which is like, if you need to come here and ask questions about it, you have no business rolling out a coin. And that's kind of what I told him, but he just won't let the thing die. But I think that's one reason why we need to be so skeptical and so careful about ICOs. Is because there are a lot of money grabs. There are a lot of scams, and there are a lot of idiots putting out coins that really have no business putting out coins, and who are putting out coins that really add nothing to the community. Elite Blockchain Coalition says, I have a positive outlook on this situation. If it's played right and goes back up, it could be a huge opportunity. I definitely agree with you. Like, you know, to anybody who saw or heard about the crypto rise from $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to $20,000 and thought they kind of missed the train and thought they kind of got locked out of the markets or their money won't go far enough. I mean, talk about an opportunity to get back in. And this is what's kind of frustrating, you know, for anybody who's kind of an early adopter, for anybody who's been in the space for months or even more so years, like you almost kind of get this feeling that there should be some reward for being one of the early people, for taking some of the early risk. And the reality of it is a lot of these coins go up and then they come back down. And somebody who's getting into crypto a year after you has an opportunity to buy in at the same price that you bought in at. So there's really no quote unquote founder's reward. There's really no reward for being an early adopter when things come back down. So that's what's kind of really kind of changed my philosophy and made me think more about taking profits and taking gains, so that when things do dip like this, you can go in heavier, and you in a way do kind of get rewarded for being an early adopter. I heard some simple token hopes there. Amazon FBA and eBay also got accepted into Amazon merch. That's awesome, Tracer Joe. I actually just made a video earlier about, I thought I was a little bit disappointed by this, but Amazon changed the standard t-shirt from Anvil to Porter & Company. I'm actually wearing a Porter & Company t-shirt right now. And I personally prefer Anvil. I don't like real boxy t-shirts. I kind of prefer slim fitted. I think that's more kind of the trend. I think that's what more people like. I think it's more stylish. So I was a little bit disappointed to see that. But I'm actually going to be ordering my first Porter & Company short sleeve t-shirt tonight. So when that comes in, I'll make a video talk about it. People don't get the market beat down. You just get to bye. Anyhow, guys, I think I'm going to be in trouble here. I told my girlfriend I was going to take dinner out in 15 minutes. I think I've been on a little bit longer than that. So I better get running here. But I am going to start trying to do more of these live streams. Let me know what you guys prefer for format. We could do kind of an Ask Me Anything where we talk about all different topics, or we could kind of lock it down to today we're talking about Steam, tomorrow we're talking about merch, next day we're talking about eBay, next day we're talking about Amazon. But lots of great interesting developments with merch happening. eBay is going to be rolling out their own payment processor. I do sell on eBay, but one of my businesses that was super successful on eBay was no longer allowed to sell on eBay because PayPal blocked us. So I'm hoping maybe eBay, now that it's all in-house, will allow our category back on. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to be doing more of these. I appreciate all of you guys who joined me. Thank you for the super chat. And signing off, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.